Here is part 2 or 3, depending on how I ended up editing this. And this wall over here, all those are signed. Starting over here, we got Zed Bias, who came to my town, Arcata, and played in 2011, as you can see. And I'm a hard-working DJ. I actually missed this show. I had to work somewhere else, but at the end of mine, I pretty much raced from my gig over to his gig just to get him to sign this record. And he was really nice. Zed Bias is Mad Slinky. He signed a pair, so I've got another one that maybe I'll put up for grabs, signed by Zed Bias. And that's one of my favorite records. It was the first time we were able to buy Yellows, and it's solid. The track on the other side is solid. Love that record. Starkey. Now, I have a few signed Starkeys. This one came from Kryptonite, who I think played with them out in Atlanta, and he got 2 signed and sent me one. Love you, Kryptonite. Thank you. Now, Starkey came to Humboldt too, and same scenario as this. I had to work another gig, but I raced over at the end of the gig, caught the end of his set, which was awesome, and then I hit him up at the end of the night and told him that, you know, the story. I have a video somewhere of talking to him, and he was just so awesome. He was so stoked that this came out, and it's in the first 10. This is probably the rarest Serato pressing. I don't know why they're worth more. It's the first time we were able to buy gray. This is beautiful, solid gray. Same thing, the track on the flip is a killer. You can play it at 33 or 45. It's awesome, and Starkey's a good guy. So I have another test pressing of this record. It's one-sided. It doesn't have a Serato tone on it. It just has the track on it, and the other side is blank. And he signed that one too to CRG, Control Record Guide, the precursor to Serato Control Vinyl Collectors Group. And then I have 2 signed ones, and I'm definitely 2 other signed ones. I'm definitely going to put those up for grabs, and there's going to be some kind of fundraiser charity based on those, because that's why he signed them. So here we go, Quantic, another awesome Serato pressing. This one sold out super quick, the only splatter vinyl we've had, and you can see that one's signed by Quantic in 2011. And gosh, I can't remember who I bought that from, but I did purchase this one because I have a little collection of signed around. Now, Diplo, first Serato pressing. He came to Humboldt in 2009. It was a Monday show. He was super cool. I opened up for him, played a video set, all old school hip hop. He came up at the end of my set and was like, dude, dope set, which meant a lot. And I busted out these, and it was the first time Diplo had seen him. He played a killer set, and oh man, it was one of the best nights I've had in Humboldt. And at the end, he signed 2 of them for me. And this is kind of right before Major Lazer. You know, Diplo's always had a nice status, but he really blew up after this. So I don't know if we'll be able to get him back to Humboldt, but Diplo, he's the man. Extra 12. This was a gift from Phoenix at the NAMM show a few years ago. Super appreciative of this, and I just was walking around carrying it at the show because it was given to me there, and I saw Steve West, and he signed it for me. I remember him signing this. I remember when I asked him for a signature, he looked at me like, oh, you want me to sign a record? And I think I was the first one to ask him to sign a record. And so met, you know, hung out with him every year since, and got to hang out with him a lot in New Zealand. And Steve West is a great guy. In fact, this is one day after a gig, just super enthralled with playing with Scratch Live. I was holding a Control vinyl, and I said, I want to meet the guy who made this. I bet he's really smart and nice. And I was right. But it was a real simple request to the universe for something that I thought would be great. And but I also filed it in the, yeah, right, that will probably never happen. And yet it did. What is that? That is a Shibuya brake, but it is completely clear. Also, number 1 of 1, because it's clear. Although there are some that slipped out, but this one was the first one off the press. And that's why there's no black smoke mixed into it, because they were tossing pellets in, just a few black ones in the batch of clear. And this was the first one. I can see 2 dub cut. Boy, thanks for all the support from everybody at Stokio. This was sent to me in the mail by Chuck at Stokio. Totally floored. Big shout out to Gene, who worked at Stokio for a long time. Really made some stuff happen with Serato pressings. And I'm still touched by that. Random, didn't expect it, showed up in the mail. This is early on. This is like before the Facebook group, when we were just posting pictures on the forums. And as you can see, I've been supporting for a long time. Now, here is the Eric Orr. This is number 12. I have a pair of these. This is the first hand-painted series that he did. And he's actually got another pair of OG label clears that he's supposed to paint for me, but we haven't gotten to that yet. Now, Eric Orr signature, 2010. This was another one that came through from Kryptonite. And signed by Eric Orr, who I later ended up meeting, and he's just a beautiful person. He spends time in New Zealand and New York, and he's just a real down-to-earth guy and an incredible artist. Now, that record, I was shown a test pressing of my second NAMM, and the test pressing didn't have any Serato control tone on it. It was like some other track, maybe like some rock track or something, but it was the picture disc, and it was the most beautiful picture disc I'd ever seen, just the way it glimmered in the light. And it was also the first time Serato showed me something that hadn't come out yet, and kind of brought me into the, hey, you've been helping, we're gonna show you something cool. Now, this is the glow in the dark, and this is a test pressing. This is a pre-release. I had this before the glow in the dark was announced, about 6 months before, and I kept my secret, kept Serato's secret, because I love them, and I knew that if that got out, that it would have a negative effect on the impact, and I knew that the folks at Serato worked really hard on getting the glow in the dark together, and so even though I probably could have been like sold them for a bunch of money, I just decided to keep them and let the surprise come out at the NAMM show. This one is signed by Vajra up at the top, and that was right after he won the DMC champion. Big Wiz, who is at the Rain booth every year doing demos. Who else we got up there? Faust and Shorty, who are also usually at the Rain booth giving demos. That was all from, let's see, 2012. All right, and then to close it out, here's just a sign from the booth that I got at the end of the show when they were all done. Pulled it off, just a little souvenir. So there it is. That is my wall collection. Some of my favorite vinyl, and some of the rarest vinyl. I could not be more thankful for this experience collecting these things, but mostly for meeting the people behind them. That's what's carried it, and what will continue to carry it as we grow. A year ago there was 2,600 of us. There's just about to be 7,000, and we scrutinize everybody that gets approved to the group because we want to keep it focused. And if you're not obviously into vinyl, and but you maybe have a controller or something, we let you in because maybe seeing the passion that's in the group will help you try something that will be very rewarding in your life. So, out of time here on this video. Thank you so much. I'll see you at the meetup.